So, good morning from our side also, and we're very humbled to be here and able to speak to you about how we see this age of AI at this moment. And first, thanks to the TED for the great presentation. I think we all agree that we could use AI for everywhere. If we look around us, we could see this room full of examples and use cases where we could use AI. But our perspective and our story, what we are going to tell you today, is about how we make the decisions. And of course, nobody knows what are the correct decisions, but there are a lot of possibilities how you're able to have enough data to create those kinds of, at least the best possible selections for the future. But maybe a couple of words about Kela in the beginning. The Kela is the social insurance institution of Finland, and it's a government agency, public sector organization, and we are providing basic economic security for everyone living in Finland. So we have approximately little less than 6 million customers. And Kela is in every life event of human in Finland context, from birth to death, so to speak, and every kind of different kind of life events. Some words about the volumes also. If we think about the situation where we are at the moment, and last year, for example, we pay about benefits around 16 billion. We had something like little less than 18 million online logins for our web services, for example, and we create 28 million electronic prescriptions automatically per year. And besides that, we are providing a lot of different kind of benefits for the Finnish customers. So starting from national pensions, from the unemployment benefits, going to the child benefit and sick allowances also. So it's very diverse benefits sector that we are providing in Finland at the moment. But if we're trying to think about the future, when we are trying to make the understanding of where we should use, for example, AI in the future, we see that it's very important also to learn from the past. And that's where the phenomenon kind of point of view comes to us, because we see that if we think about Finland in 1930, for example, we have maybe a little bit different phenomena in our age in that time in Finland, what were very important solutions, very big problems we needed to be solved. And if we watch from this presentation, for example, the infant mortality rates were very high in Finland, and it was a very big problem at the time. We didn't have enough clean clothes for the children. We even didn't have beds. And of course, the health issues were also a very big problem at the time in Finland. And why we are talking about the phenomenon and those years in Finland at that time related to this time that we are here at the moment, it comes from that we see that there's a lot of problems needed to be solved at that time. The solution, and one part of the solution at that time, was these maternity packages, because we had those problems needed to be addressed. And after we were able to create this kind of paper box, which provide the bed for the kids, and then there was also a lot of different kind of solution for those things that needed to be solved. For example, clean clothes, diapers, and so on. And what it really affects, what was the impact of that innovation at the time? The biggest impact that Finland at the moment has one of the lowest levels of infant and maternal mortality in the world. So we created that kind of social innovation, how we tried to tackle those issues that were very high and very important at that time for our society. And now when we are at the time where we are, and we are thinking about the use of AI, where should we use it? Because the possibilities are endless. So that is the one thing that we are trying to figure it out, where is the biggest impact comes, and where the biggest impact for the society will bring. And as we can see, this social innovation is still living and doing fine in Finland. And then we are coming to the situation where we have these phenomena that are very important at this moment of time, that where we are at the moment. And what those phenomena worth of solving today? I think in every country we have different phenomena that are more in highly demand than others, but I think we can agree with at least three like at the top of this presentation. We have the problem of aging population, we have this climate crisis, and then we have the big, huge problem, at least in Finland, the mental health problems. And as I assume that same phenomenon is very like important in Denmark also. So that is the one thing that how we are trying to figure it out, where to use AI for good. And how we do it is like we are combining foresight, that we are understanding the hidden signals from our society, and then we use innovation to tackle those and deep dive into those phenomena. And that is the one way how we're trying to figure it out, where we could use AI when the possibilities are great. And I think my colleague Ville will now tell a little bit deeper about how we are really doing it.
Thank you, Janne. I will now continue about phenomenon's impact, where we're going, what we focus on and why. And maybe the first thing, what we need to think about, what is important, what are the criteria, what we need to take into account when we are talking about the phenomenons, what really matters. We need to understand human centricity, how it is meaningful for real citizens, real peoples, how their living is coming in a better way because we are selecting and we are focusing on the things what affects. Strategic relevance, not only in that way that what is our strategy, what is our role today, we need to also understanding where we need to go, what we need to more even challenge in our current thinking about how we affect the society. Urgency. What is the cost if we are not doing anything? What is maybe the end results where we are ending up? How the problems may start getting bigger and bigger. These need to be taken into account. Complexity of ecosystems. We cannot do things just by ourselves. We need to understand with whom and how to handle and how to go forward. And of course, like Janne talking about history, we know already a lot. We need to also understand what we know and how to use this information when we are making selection. When we go to the phenomenon and human centricity, the important thing is that we go inside of those people's life who we want to create help. For example, this mental health issue. We need to be among of those young people, even in children, even in the different age groups, to understanding when their mental well-being starts to decrease and they feel bad. They go in the situation where their power of doing things is maybe not so much anymore vital, and then they hit to the jungle of different kind of benefits, what we try to provide them. How to help in that kind of situation, how to be earlier present in that kind of places is maybe understand. And if you're thinking about this understanding, what we need from human problems and human life, we need to also understanding how it actually sees in our part of the picture, there where we living and try to serve those persons. Where are the QEs? Where are the places? Where are those doors which are not opening enough early to help the people really? And where all of the resources goes and why? That's why we need to understand this story in a both side and do something what is good. On the other hand, same time, things like AI happens, gives lots of possibility, gives lots of things what actually also start to changing the people's behavior, people's living. In the meanwhile, when we are thinking about those real world of solving problems, then society change start to happening, and AI just gets into our life. So, on the other hand, we have a big needs for social security renewal, need to simplify the current system, get it more efficient, get the things done in more simpler way, that those persons are not hitting this kind of jungle of different kind of benefits, and then we are able of doing it with the financial possibilities what is given to us. On the other hand, we need to get people understand more individuals. They have more individual needs. Right of benefits and right time with minimum friction is needed from their side. They want equity. So we need to take these both sides again, both sides of the story, whole time into action. But AI start already affecting us. We know that customers start asking from Gen AI, which benefit I'm entitled, what is the equity, what I'm capable of getting from society. Maybe the next step is, because we have lots of great humans, lots of people who are helping those people, doing the nice and heroic stories in everyday life, how to help those people to work more empowering way, what was mentioned also in the first, empowering our peoples with the AI, what they can use as a help for them, and learning to taking the benefit out of the AI also be more effective, doing more like that kind of empathic things what they want. And they maybe in the future reserves the benefits proposals even proactive way and going again step further. But how we actually try to understand that, how we make the selections, what is our way of doing this kind of thing, coming from phenomenon, going to the practice and impact. We have a process. Input first is important. It needs to be outside, it needs to be understanding these signals like Janne mentions, foresight, things need to be cooking inside there. But then we need to actually defining and scoping things, make selections. Things what were mentioned here as a criteria. Not the easy thing to do, but selections are needed. This is then that something when we are sure about that we are doing something what is markable, what is worth of doing, then first thing to start going deeper is to start loving the problem. We don't want to end up in a situation where the problem actually is something what we nicely solve, but it doesn't be something what impacts to the society. So loving and understanding the problem nature is quite important in the first time. And we cannot hurry too quickly for just solutions. After we have getting the problems understood, modeling it, understanding how it can be affected, we are start verifying. All of the things, all of the first solutions need to be somehow acid testing inside of the phenomenon, inside of the people who it affects. And if we still have something left, what we see, what is making the impact, and when we have something left, then we start to think about what to invest, what to grow, what to put into action. This is the basically way how we treat and go inside of that. And then we are finding lots of things throwing away, lots of opportunities, like Janne mentions, that there are so many things to do with the AI, but we need to again select those things what are most meaningful to us. We have that kind of solution hypothesis, solution types, what we are now working on, like voice assistant, benefit settlement, live event detections, and that kind of things. And also we need to understanding where to go first. What is the things where we are inside of this learning how to use AI, how to do it in remarkable way, and understanding that we are not breaking any rules, what makes also things going in the bad direction. And sometimes, for example, we have been currently starting with this kind of benefit explanation where the AI is working with our people, and we are helping how to get things done. But getting things really happening and being honest to ourselves when we are doing that things, we need to whole time understanding in all of the phases how the impact is having. And we don't need to do things so that we are doing things, putting those into action, and then understanding what is the impact. We need to understand it meanwhile the processes. When we know the problem, we need to understanding and calculating and modeling what is the problem value. When we are verifying, we need to calculating what are the possibilities, what are the solutions, what are the value of the solutions. Again, we need modeling and understanding and continuous work. And then we select things to invest. We need to understanding how the opportunities are utilized, how they can be scaled and grown. Impact part of the journey whole time. But these are the things we have been talking about, lot of impacts, lot of things, how we select things. But I now let Janne to conclude and summarize why this is important.
Yes, thank you, Ville. We started from the history and those basic needs what we had at the time. And when we are looking for the future and for the impact that we want to do, if we think about the future for ourselves and our kids, and the possibilities and also the risks related to AI. If we think about that, we challenge you to think about that where should we put our focus? Of course, we understand that there's a lot of possibilities from the business point of view, but there's always the human factor. And from human factor, there comes also those business possibilities after that. And from our findings, for example, the opportunities with what we have been finding out. And for example, this mental health issues regarding the youth people, for example. This is so huge problem. And what if, and we have some proofs about that it could be possible. What if we use AI for that we are able to prevent those mental health issues? From the person point of view, it's very big thing for those young people also, but still there's also those economic possibilities after that. If we think about in Finland, for example, if we could help 5,000 young people, those are really already in our channels. As we stated, we have something like 80 million online logins per year. What if we are able to support those 5,000 young people in proactive way, that they won't have those long-term mental health issues? The cost benefits for the society will be something like 6 billion from the 5,000 kids. And then there's another values that are more important than those numbers, but the numbers are still pretty huge. So we want to end our presentation for this, and we invite you to create and trying to understand these possibilities of AI together to bring the better society for all of us. Thank you very much.
Hi. Thank you for an excellent presentation. That was inspirational to see, especially about mental health. Could you tell us a little bit more about how Kela assigns inclusivity and a broad diversity in their teams working on these issues? So when you find new phenomena, use cases and so on, how do you tackle those issues?
If you really want to start from.
Yeah, maybe that's actually excellent question in many ways. We need diversity in many ways. We need skillful people working continuously together. Diversity in different kind of phases, how we see the problems and see the solutions whole time. On the other hand, we need to also have the places, what are the possibilities for values like sustainability, viability, feedback. We need diversity in that level. And we need different kind of persons. But on the other hand, the one thing as well is that when we have the phenomena and things what we have been selecting, we need to welcome people who are interested about solving those issues, who feel their own heart that these are worth of doing things, to let them giving their things to us. So diversity is quite a big part of this work whole time, and hopefully there's something what takes us further as well.
Yeah, and the diversity goes beyond our organization, of course, that we collaborate and do cooperation with a lot of different actors, and that is the only way to, trying to at least solve in some way these kind of big phenomena in our society.
And I think that actually bridges to the question that I have for you. Because in your innovation process, you had the inputs first, and you stated that you're constantly searching for new ways of getting input. I would like to hear what kind of new ways are you currently diving into?
Ville can start also.
Yeah, the one thing, of course, that we are whole time developing all of the things what we are doing. Like things like foresight thing. How to do it, how to do it more widely, who to do it, when and what things to pick up, and how to actually do it constantly, and which kind of cycle and so on. That I think so that these are the things what need to be constantly developing and learn through doing that. But on the other hand, also be innovative, how to go inside of the society, how to go inside of those people living. For example, youth people, thinking about where they are, what are the natural, their way to communicate, can you be part of there, can you listen there, and that kind of things.
Yeah, and you have to, for example, in the youth case, you have to go there where the youth people are, not trying to understand that, or that they will come to you. And then another thing is regarding that, for example, the foresight point of view. We see that combining foresight and innovation and strategy is very important for us. And why we do that is that, for example, so we are creating every day trying to figure it out new ways to how we are able to get that hidden signals from everywhere, from our society, from our workers, from our customers. And that is an ongoing process, and I don't know how we ever going to be in the final state of that. But we have to do like we learn, like we like to try.
Continuous development in all of the phases, of course, is needed.
Yes.
I think that's what we have time for now. Thank you so much, Janne and Ville.
Thank you.